on KURV. We're in Houston, and we've been broadcasting on social media and, of course, on our radio station and our sister stations, I understand, Ultra 90.1. And we're trying to share the wealth of all this knowledge. Here from Houston, on behalf of this, I've been describing this joint effort, combined effort between industry, investors, industrialists, and top leadership in government in South Texas and northern Mexico to sell this region. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, they don't need no selling. Those big cities, everybody knows where those big cities are. But on this day here in Houston, conversations are taking place with, I've been told, like 14 different countries, trade attaches, and folks that are familiar with businesses and those kinds, some of them from Asia, other places. We are selling this region, this RioPlex region. We're selling South Texas. And we're hoping to land more industry. We're hoping to land more businesses in South Texas, more jobs. My guest right now is Jorge Gonzalez Henriksen. And I was telling Jorge, he has family and ties in Mexico City, right, Jorge?
That's correct.
So by saying the name Henriksen, that's how you get Chilangos to actually speak English. Henriksen, right? They say, oh, that's it. I could go like for several minutes talking about your name and your family, but let's talk business, right? I know you already had a chance to experience some of the conversations, some of these potential foreign investors. Of course, you've heard from leadership as well. So before you tell me what you think about this conference, your company says it all. Your company is like the word of the day, near shore, right?
That's correct.
Jorge Gonzalez Henriksen is the head of business development. He's a co-CEO, or yes, what I said, the Near Shore company that's based in Brownsville. Right? What do you do for a living?
First of all, thank you for having me here,
Yes, sir.
Sergio. It's a pleasure. For 33 years, the Near Shore company has been helping manufacturing companies that wish to establish operations in Mexico on the other side of the border. The company started with one single operation in Matamoros. And today we have 17 manufacturing facilities in Matamoros, Laredo, San Luis Potosí, Rey. And so we've been pretty busy.
All of a sudden, like I've been saying in other interviews, all of a sudden, it's real popular to build, produce stuff in the United States of America. So has your phone been ringing off the hook and getting companies from, I don't know, Asia, Europe to try to access faster, closer, the biggest customer of their stuff, which is this market?
That's entirely correct. The majority of our clients are U.S. companies, followed by Canada and Europe and Asia.
Funny how you say that. Most of them are American companies. But what? American companies that found a cheaper, more affordable manufacturing elsewhere, and they want to come back, or how's that work?
Well, it's a mix. It's a mix of drivers that determine why company owners, company executives, why they reach out to us. You know, everybody thinks of cost of overseas. And basically, that's what China has been promoting for the last 30 years, right? It's lower your labor cost. And that's certainly a driver. But I would tell you, Sergio, that after the pandemic, the number one reason why companies call us is labor availability. So these are 1, 2, 3 generation business owners that, frankly, they would love to continue manufacturing where they are, Midwest, Northeast, but they can't find, and so they're forced to look abroad.
I pressed the pause button there.
Yeah.
Like, why? Is it, do they just not have the skill set that they need? It's specialized training, or let's go back to that old adage. It's jobs Americans don't want to do. Which one is?
Again, it's a mix, and some things are completely out of anyone's control. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Uh, it's the demographics of the country. The U.S. had a very large population after World War II. The baby boomers, that was a huge positive impact on economic growth. But the following generations didn't have as many kids, right? And so when you look at the population pyramid, it's not really a pyramid as you think of an Egyptian pyramid with a very large base. It really kind of spans and then becomes more narrow again. And that has to do with just uh, born in the US. And so the US had less available workforce, aging population as well. Um, and this gap was actually filled with immigrants. If you look at the population graphs, and you hear stories about these business owners, they were telling you like we started to hire non-native born workers for our plants. So you have something that I would probably say that's on nature, although it has a lot of public policy and a bunch of stuff. But one is the lack of people. That's it, right? But the other thing is that the U.S. for many many decades has been focusing on being a service-oriented economy versus a manufacturing economy, right? Because there's more value add, and we've all heard the pros of that. And so you have the fewer um, graduates not wanting to go to manufacturing. I mean, recently I was talking to an executive of a very large supply chain company, and this person was telling me, I was at MIT University, and talking to the dean of the school of, of engineering, and I asked him, like, you have a lot of engineering graduates here, and the dean said, yeah, we have a lot of engineers graduating, but half of them go on to build a career in Wall Street. They go to finance. They don't want to go to the desert and be in a manufacturing facility. And so, again, I mentioned first the demographics of the country, then how the economy has been shaped. The incentives have not been for a lot of people to go into manufacturing. So now you have a situation where you do not have the available skilled workforce.
Yeah. Well, we got a young workforce in South Texas, or in the region. The skill set, I think, well, I suspect that the skill set could be easily attained, or whatever workforce program or curriculum could be set up at the local colleges, and we got some good ones. We got Texas A&M setting up a training at the Port of Brownsville to try to meet some of this demand. So as you hear the potential demand to sop up land, to set up in the United States, to try to avoid tariffs in this present political culture that we're in, and the popularity of manufacturing in the U.S., and of course taking advantage of the young population that could be trained to have a skill set. What do you think? Does the Valley have the advantage because of the population and the schools and the synergy that seems to exist between as early as like right now, as early as high school, they're training kids to go get jobs at the Port of Brownsville. Some of these kids will be making six figures very, very soon. So, as you heard, all this taking place with RioPlex in the hope that land some of this manufacturing or some foreign investment. Can we? You think we can meet that demand?
For sure. I mean, Texas is amazing. I mean, Texas is the solution to many of these manufacturing problems or issues or opportunities, depending on how you look at it. But it's not going to be enough. That's the thing. I mean, that's why RioPlex is such an amazing project, because it's uniting south of Texas cities on the border, but also the Mexican counterparts, because it's not going to be enough. I mean, I think it's very hard to put our head around the idea of what China has been doing for the past 40 or 50 years. They are the factory of it's they do everything. And so when you talk about dismantling China, it is not enough. I mean, someone was recently told me, was asking me, are you afraid of automation, right? As a threat to your business? Actually, we offer, uh, we cater mainly to labor intensive industries. And I said, you don't understand. I mean, this is going to be so huge that we need all the automation we can get. It's not going to be enough. I mean, what we've seen out of China, I mean, I don't think it's even 5%. It's huge. And some of it is going to go to India. Some of them will go to Europe. And a lot will come to the US. But we need Mexico and Canada to jump in as well. I mean, it is huge.
India, one of those countries, according to reports, and even Vietnam, like right next door, right? Vietnam, cheap, portable, low cost manufacturing for American consumer goods, textiles, uh, Air Jordans, all that stuff. Vietnam. India, billion people. I see a potential boon for American manufacturing consumer stuff. They're not all poor in India. I know they're climbing out. They got hundreds and hundreds of the billion people. They probably have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of very well-to-do Indians that are ready to sop up. That's a new market already for some American consumer good manufacturers and other manufacturers. It's already there, waiting for us. China, they're belligerent and look, and I've commented on this. China is just Xi Jinping. That power's not going anywhere. The Chicoms are not going anywhere. The People's House, whatever these represent, they're not going. They can wait us out. He can sit down, be intransigent, lose money, lose jobs, lose wealth. The people that are beholden to him. Look what they did in COVID on manufacturing. Look what they did to their own people during COVID. They can wait us out, and I think he's gambling on that. So because they have proved China has proven, in my opinion, they've proven unreliable, and unworkable, inflexible. I think it is time. Desperately, it is time for any American manufacturer, any multinational manufacturer that is in China that say we've created a monster, and from hell or high water, doesn't matter what the democratic process says in America. If they go back Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter what happens here. We need, for the sake of our own survival, we need to go to more workable economies. India, Vietnam. Vietnam was used to charge American products 90%. They're willing to go 0 to 0 on it. Asia wants to keep American factories because they love the taste of wealth, prosperity, and they're workable. The whole Chinese question, eh, I we don't, obviously, politically speaking, time is not on our side. We got midterm elections next year. We're looking at processes that will take 12, 18, 24 months, uproot, close, open up somewhere else, manufacture somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe, like you said, India, maybe they'll land there. Maybe there's a lot of square footage available in India to immediately fire up, turn on the lights, let's go, and let's bring it from China over to India. Let's go and get back to business. But there's got to be some redistribution of this production that we can land here in South Texas, and I'm hoping that becomes the reality. And some of the behind the scenes conversation, you know what I noticed? We got a lot of folks from Asia, I think, that are part of this 14 country contingent that might be looking to get closer to the market, which is the United States of America. Does that seem to be the case right now?
That is correct. We get lots of calls from Chinese company owners, businessmen, and I mean, they're smart people, and they're looking at what's going on within their country and
Mhm.
outside. They're saying, "I got to do something," and that tends to be, "I need to get out of China," or just at least put one foot in the door. And for them, uh, definitely Texas is that. because I mean they've been told of that. They come to visit. They talk to people. They realize that Texas has what they need. I mean, they have Texas has land, has a skilled workforce, has infrastructure, and so they are really looking at Texas and northern Mexico
Mhm.
as a way to not lose their business because a lot of their clients are U.S. companies, and you have U.S. companies saying, "Hey, you know what? I can't buy from you anymore because tariffs, the geopolitics, etc." And so you have these Chinese business owners raising their hand and saying, "You know what? I understand, but let's not finish our business relationship. I will move, so you don't have to buy from China." And what does that mean? They're come back to the U.S. or Mexico.
Wow. Yeah. That's something that's really not talked about. Yes, there are many millionaires and billionaires in China, industrialists, people who own businesses, and they walk the party line to keep Beijing happy. A lot of business people, and it's very interesting to hear that they're willing to get close to the market. It's like Elon Musk in reverse. Elon Musk went to China to build his little cars out there so he could access the market and not have to work the import tax. Well, and vice versa, the Chinese to come and build their stuff over here. And I don't know what fill up the stores and part. That's the first thing that comes to mind. All the stuff, man. Can you imagine? Where are you going to get all the dollar stores done?
Yeah.
Right? And the Walmart and the Target stuff. And these tariffs, they keep going up. If Donald Trump and Xi Jinping keep playing this tariff chicken game, they're like, ¿quién es más macho?
Mhm.
It's like at some point you're going to see 300, 400% taxes on stuff coming in from China, which look, whatever it takes, we got to get back to a point that's more manageable, and that might be what needs to happen in order to bring this big enemy that we created, which is China, in order to try to bring some balance. And there's plenty of other countries that we can sell to and do trade with. I want to get your final thought from in your conversations here at RioPlex, working with the investors and the local leaders. I just want to get your initial thoughts, potentially how successful this approach for economic development and recruitment, how successful it could be in the near future for us in this region, South Texas, North Mexico.
Very positive, I would have to say. And Sergio, let me tell you a quick story. I mentioned to you that I was born and raised in Mexico City, and so I'm not originally from the north of Mexico or the south of Texas. Past 5 years. Um, Coming from Mexico City, I, when I got to this region, I said this region is the future of manufacturing. It has it all, right? But then as I started talking to people, I noticed that it was very siloed. You know, oh no, we're Brownsville. No. That's Reynosa or that's Edinburgh. Where are these people working together?
Yeah.
I mean, this is an amazing region. There's all these politics going on, not just across the border, which you would imagine, but also in counties and cities in the U.S. And so finally, it's the first time that I see this. I see them talk as a team, come together as a team. The statistics that they present are as a team, as a group, as a region. I think that is the first step in an amazing project of what others have said, not me, that the manufacturing renaissance that we will live like will happen in this.
I hope so. You surely have the young population, talent, the schools, the land, or something like that, in the capital. It's a pleasure. Thank you for your time today. We wish you success with your nearshore company based in Brownsville. Folks want to get a hold of you, website or anything else? What would you, how do they
Uh,
get a hold of you?
sure, yeah, the nearshorecompany.com. You know, that's our website, and we are happy to help.
We're broadcasting 710 KURV. We're broadcasting from Houston with Western Galleria, all part of a combined effort between local government and industry. We're selling the region. We're selling South Texas and Northern Mexico through RGV RioPlex at this Foreign Direct Investment Summit, the first one the first of what I hope will be many of these types of summits. Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. Sergio Sanchez, and go back to the videos that we're going to be posting on 710 KURV YouTube, on X, also on other social media. Facebook, oh yeah, I try to forget Facebook, and we're going to do the LinkedIn here pretty soon as well. Thank you for joining us on 710 KURV.